Now hits the trailing Moody, who drives, gets past Hardaway, and ties the game at 109. Kicks it out, Podziemski with one. Hoyson hits! The ultimate teardrop. That thing was... Maybe they can keep this up as Horford slams it down for the exclamation point.
With only 9 players available on their roster, the Golden State Warriors took on a fully rested and fully healthy Denver Nuggets. Well, almost fully healthy, with Aaron Gordon being out for the season. But you get my drift. With Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Kristaps Porzingis all out with injury or illness, you'd think Golden State would be handing this game over to Denver on a silver platter. You'd be well within your rights to think that, but you'd also be wrong. From the moment the game started, absolutely everything went right for Golden State.
Moody on the attack. Friday put up 157 points. And had
He put them to bed early with the first quarter aggression he played with.
Horford gets a great look here. Back-to-back threes for Horford.
Bucket after bucket, they tore away from the Nuggets the entire first quarter. Threes from all angles, Gui from all angles. Denver just couldn't stop the Warriors' offense. When things finally cooled down in the second half, the Nuggets made their move, reeling the Warriors in at the line with 12 made free throws. Interestingly enough, this was the same number of free throws the Warriors attempted during the entire game. As if Jokic's 35-point, 20-rebound, and 12-assist triple-double needed any more help to put away the Warriors' G League squad. The effort made by Golden State with 6 or more players scoring in double figures against the third-ranked Denver Nuggets shows that this team is a threat to win on any given night. Is this fool's gold? Or is there something else to be excited about with this Warriors team? Check ball. This was a standout game by any stretch of the imagination. This same Nuggets team, as is, just dropped 157 points. 157 points against the Portland Trail Blazers only 2 days ago. To make matters even worse, Jokic only had 32, 9, and 7 against them. That is less points, less rebounds, and less assists versus the Blazers. What this means is that the Warriors got the angry, more determined version of Jokic, doing more for the Nuggets against the Warriors than he did for them in Portland. And despite his efforts, his entire squad couldn't hold up against a jump shooting team, with the Dubs putting up a pedestrian 40% overall shooting from distance. I might have to call Adam Silver to check out the tank job by Portland. All jokes aside, this was an almost ideal game for the Warriors. Outside of the third quarter, they played the Nuggets as well as they possibly could. Moses Moody had one of his best games of the season, with 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and hit 4 threes on 9 attempts for 44% from deep. So far this season, Moody's averaging north of 40% from 3 percentage points better than his best season, which came just last year.
What has clicked for you in the past month and a half or so?
Simplifying the game. I know what I'm good at.
His 5 assists tie the second most he's had in a game in his career, and considering he's been viewed as a ball stopper for his tenure as a Warrior, this is a pretty big deal for him. Watch as he passes up a 3 to hit Horford, who had just made one in the prior possession. These small adjustments are what will help his game, as the team relies on him more as a future piece on a winning team. But it's not just on the offensive side for Moody. He's been very aggressive in grabbing rebounds and keeping the Nuggets off the offensive glass. While he's had a few rough games, he's slowly improved every single year. If he patches up a few of his weaknesses like we saw in this game, Moses Moody could lock in that shooting guard slot for next season when Melton inevitably commands a higher price on the market. It wasn't just Moses Moody doing the heavy lifting, however. The next player had a rough start to the game. So bad, in fact, that he missed an entire 9 shot attempts before making only his second field goal halfway through the fourth quarter. Podziemski finished with 18 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists, while finishing with a team-high plus 19.
Really, the last 3 jump shots I had just felt really slow and in slow motion, and so the goal is to always try to find that. The great players do that. So it's like shoot whatever shots you want to shoot. but just be decisive while doing it, and whatever you do, we'll live with it.
Now I know I said he had a rough patch to start the game, but Pods has been having it rough pretty much the entire season. He hasn't quite lived up to the promise of his rookie year, where he finished first team All-Rookie and in some cases actually regressed as a player. With this being his contract year, it was expected that we might see a boost in his production, but that has yet to be the case. One can attribute that to him playing in a role that requires him to be on the floor for 30 plus minutes, but is rather suited to be in a role that sees him play closer to 20. While we see him take on the role of a shot creator and primary facilitator, he's more suited to being a hustle player that takes the open look catch and shoot threes and a secondary facilitator. While he can drive and kick, his game isn't quite refined enough, well enough to get into the paint too often. He's not drawing contact and tends to get caught up in the middle. A primary creator and facilitator will keep Pods in a more suitable role, so like Draymond, if he's to get a permanent role in starting, concessions will have to be made to facilitate his skill set. Alternatively, some of this might be due to a lack of confidence because when he's locked in as he was in the fourth quarter, it's clear that he can get the job done. With clutch baskets near the end of regulation, Pods steered the Warriors to pull away from the Denver Nuggets to get the win. This is something he's done before, and while it shouldn't be expected, don't be surprised when it does happen. In the last video, we talked about Al Horford making a couple of threes down the stretch would have helped the Warriors get the win. Well, he showed up this game and hit 6 of 7 to remediate the 1 of 6 he had last game. The last-minute scratch taking Draymond Green out of the game was essentially the chess move that gave the Warriors the advantage. Replacing him with a defensive big that's actually a threat from deep proved crucial to the Warriors getting the win.
Once I realized I had to, kind of start, I just needed to make sure that I brought, energy and those shots were available there early on, so I just took advantage.
From the jump, Al Horford stretched the Nuggets defense, terrorizing and shredding this team from the deep end. Denver's mistaken game plan was to leave the Warriors center open, but from every shot he took, he left them hoping, because he was hooping, with 22 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks, taking only 11 shots in only 27 minutes. Wait, is that how long he was in it? Horford was key to the Warriors' victory, and it was only because of his production that they were as far ahead as they were. While the team shot an overall 40% from 3, a lot of those misses were from D'Anthony Melton, who only shot 2 for 10. While his night wasn't very efficient offensively, he did grab 4 steals. This was definitely a team effort though, because GP2 put up 15 points in 19 minutes, even hitting 3 triples. We don't have a lot of time, guys, but the last player we'll cover tonight is Gui Santos. We've been following him recently and tracking his minutes. He played a total of 28, less than I would have wanted, but there's a reason for that. Foul trouble. Now in those 28 minutes, Santos had a total of 17 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, and 67% shooting from downtown, 86% from the field. That's 17 points on 7 shots. What we're seeing is a player transition from being just an energy guy off the bench to one that can give you sustained production in extended minutes. Gui is proving that he's more than just a player that you stick in a game for a couple of minutes to get the best of him. My thoughts are that his late draft pick is probably holding him back at the moment. With a player that is so obviously beneficial to keep on the floor, it would be pure nonsense to not play him more. But here's the problem. Just recently, Joe Lacob made a comment regarding Draymond Green. Okay, so Green's not a player you trade. I can actually understand that. However, Steve Kerr followed up with this statement.
I want to keep starting the same way to try to develop some continuity.
Now this creates a problem. How are the Dubs' young players, who have proven that they're more than capable, supposed to get a chance to establish themselves in the league when the coach is playing favorites and paying homage to days gone by? We understand that Draymond is going to have a statue built alongside Curry's, Clay's, and Kevin Durant potentially. That should be more than enough. The fact of the matter is that the Warriors drafted Santos, and he's showing you why he deserves to be in that rotation ahead of Draymond Green. Even Stevie stopped wondering why the Warriors were having trouble closing out games. A lot of it had to do with the player that they more than likely voluntarily sat out of this game. Santos may not be a championship caliber player at this point in his career, but he's proof that even if you do everything Steve Kerr asks you to do, At best, you'll still be that guy off the bench behind an aging player who no longer gives the team any advantage and actually makes it more difficult trying and having to fit players around him. Hopefully this is the last year that this is an issue and it doesn't stop this team from making a playoff run when Curry and Porzingis, who's out with an illness, come back healthy. Gui Santos becomes a free agent at the end of the season and they might have to make a choice because there are a lot of teams that would be interested in putting Gui Santos into their starting lineup. Let me know if you guys agree with my comments. Post your thoughts below and let me know. Thanks for watching. Till next time, swish.